Welcome, and to begin, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you've been up to in the 20 years since you graduated from Haas?
Before and after Haas, my passion and personal commitment is making the world a better place. So I was very fortunate to access such great education. When I came to Haas, coming from international development, economics at Brown, and yes, and a few years of the initial career in international development, I came to learn from the corporate sector about results-based management. I came to import the efficiencies that define the corporate sector into an environment that was not then often efficient. And it was certainly a place that needed better measures, better results. So I had the fortune after Haas to become a promoter for Panama. I had my first government position promoting investment to Panama in the years leading up to the transfer of the Panama Canal.
Wow.
I was the first vice minister for international trade and traveled the world talking about Panama, one of my favorite subjects.
Wow.
And also had the opportunity to, why am I nervous? I'm playing a home game, right?
See all the smiles out there?
I know. So since then, after the vice ministry job, I navigated other development assignments in various roles. I worked in environment, population and gender issues, education, and as a student always, I had to learn about leading those teams effectively, and that was one of the main results and the main learnings I take from Haas.
Wonderful, wonderful. So you've been out there in the world, a high-powered woman, I have to ask. It's a timely topic. We hear conflicting messages. On the one hand, we hear lean in, and that's all. The only thing that's stopping you is your own ambition or confidence. On the other hand, we hear things like Anne-Marie Slaughter saying women still can't have it all. What's your view on this timely debate?
I have a double huge responsibility. When I speak at the UN, they hear Panama. And I am raising Max, my 7-year-old. It is a task I take very seriously, and therefore I rely on technology and my social networks. It's a logistics game, for sure, and it helps to be organized. I carry my devices with me where I keep everything I need to function. I have my daily routine when I am getting up Max to get out of the house in time. I'm checking the agenda, looking at the week ahead, checking on Playdates, jotting down ideas for the next Panama statement, following on the WhatsApp group with my colleague ambassadors from around the world, giving directions to my team on the WhatsApp group I created, squeezing a yoga session or two for the week, following on Twitter what goes on in the different sessions as I'm sitting in one of the sessions, the multiple stuff going on at the UN. We all joke about cloning ourselves, and I think technology gives us that unprecedented ubiquitousness of sorts. And then my social networks, not only the ones that we are able to strengthen through technology today, but also those that I have created and nurtured over the years. In the days of the handwritten note. And so whether it is cultivating partnerships to advance agendas, national and global at the UN, to relying on those partnerships to raise and care for Max. Whether it's my husband, my ex-husband, who on FaceTime is with Max on an almost daily basis from Florida, to my parents who step in at moments where I have a busy agenda or I'm traveling, to great friends in New York who have stepped in as rotating child caregivers while I found a nanny in New York. I often even invoke ancestral energies from my grandfather who he was a member of the first Panama delegation to the UN in 1946.
Wow.
So that balance comes from turning what seems like challenges into opportunities. Once I realized there were other of us colleague ambassadors with school-aged children, I co-founded the Ambassadors Kids Club, which has become a very powerful networking space, leveraging and often untapped and very dear to us, ourselves, our children. a resource often untapped. It's a perfect example of blending and leveraging the two worlds, the personal and the professional, which us women are valiantly exploring and exploiting, I think, more and more, and where I think lies the secret to having it all. And I'm very glad to see that more and more men are also tapping into that a more soft personal side and bringing that to their professional lives. I think it's setting up a win-win situation for us all.
Awesome. And finally, why don't you impart some words of wisdom for today's graduates based on the lessons you learned at Haas, as well as your amazing adventures over the past 2 decades. Projecting out 2 decades into the future, what do you see as the pressing issues of this generation, and how can we use the defining principles of Haas to provide a roadmap to solve them?
There is a Chinese saying, some may see it as a curse, may you live in interesting times. And these are indeed interesting times for the world, and certainly for the work that we do at the UN. Member states at the UN are speaking about how to make the organization fit for purpose to deal with these challenges as we turn 70 years, this 2015. We're also negotiating the 2015 Development Agenda, which is an agenda that is universal, that is not just about a developing world, but it's about all of us. An agenda where we need to ensure we leave no one behind. We are setting the vision for 2030 in the midst of very pressing challenges, not the least of which is the planet's sustainability, human rights, peace and security, even the survival of ourselves as a species. So it's a transformative agenda that demands engaging all of us in solidarity for the world, for each other, from expanding our corporate responsibility commitments to expanding and changing our individual patterns of consumption. The time has really come to take to scale the defining principles that we have learned here at Haas and to lead ethically and responsibly from wherever we are. When I imagine 2030, I see the children of today looking back and holding us accountable. If you knew Max, he will ask me, Mommy, was it worth it? All that time away, all those travels. Is the world really a better place? And I want my answer to be a resounding yes.
Oh, thank you so much.